Hello and welcome back to the Nasty Metal particular channel here at YouTube. Welcome to, of course, the Friday album review. Now, of course, today I will be, of course, reviewing the third full-length album for, of course, Norwegian-based hard rock heavy metal band Magick Touch, and the album is titled Heads Have Got to Rock and Roll. And of course, I had announced this at least on my episode number 7 of the Nasty Metal podcast. So, of course, Heads Have Got to Roll was released through, of course, Edged Circle Productions on June 26th of this year. Now, as far as when it comes to the band Magick Touch, again, this is actually my introduction to this band, actually, in many ways. I was never too much aware of this band back at least when they at least first arrived in 2015, which is when they were formed. And of course, I should also definitely go out and say that they were, are based out of Bergen, Vestland, Norway. So, very much there. Again, I wasn't too much aware of this band when they first came on the scene in 2015, of course, with their very first single, and of course their very first full-length album titled Electric Sorcery in 2016. So Heads Have Got to Roll is pretty much my debut with at least checking this band out. So, my introduction. Again, this is their third full-length album, and I already stated their first full-length album. They, of course, released their second full-length album in 2018, and it's titled Blades, Chains, Whips, and Fire. And, of course, they had released a live album the following year titled Inside the Cage. Alright, so I guess without further ado, let's get into the album itself. Alright, so Heads Have Got to Roll, the third full-length album from this three-piece Norwegian hard rock heavy metal band. Again, this album does consist of 10 songs, and the 10 songs, of course, are This Isn't Your First Rodeo, Watchman's Requiem, To the Limit, Love is a Heart Disease, Ready for the Quake, Bad Decisions, Phantom Friend, Waiting for the Parasites, Dagger's Dance, and Doomsday I'm in Love. And of course, it all clocks in at 43 minutes and 13 seconds. Okay, so I guess where do I start? The very first track, This Isn't Your First Rodeo. Again, this kicks off the album fast and hot. The main riff, though, definitely reminds me, of course, of A Shot at the Devil from Motley Crue, and does have a little bit of that very Crue-ish feel to this song. But there is definitely that slight Thin Lizzy feel, and I will definitely elaborate on the Thin Lizzy influences on this album. So, following this track, of course, is Watchman's Requiem, a heavy, traditional, true doom Latin rocker with a big pentagram vibe with this song here. Definitely, it's a great heaviness, and of course, the Black Sabbath stuff is definitely soaring through this song. It's definitely a great track for sure, and it's definitely able to at least kind of add that heaviness to this album, at least that heavy dynamic feel. Just a great track. To the Limit follows next, and this is pure 80s anthemic metal. It just has that vibe soaring through this one. Just great hooks and overall just fucking catchy. Great track. Now, tracks 4 and 5, Love is a Disease and Ready for the Quake, have a huge Aerosmith vibes. Love is a Heart Disease is like a combination of classic Aerosmith and Alice Cooper with its sleazy feel, Ready for the Quake, on the other hand, is very similar to, of course, Uncle Salty off Toys in the Attic, with its slow, heavy blues feel. Just great shit here. Now, the songs Bad Decisions and Phantom Friend, these two, on the other hand, have unmistakable Thin Lizzy vibes. Finally here to elaborate on them Thin Lizzy influences here. Right down to the hooks and vocal performance, Bad Decision has that upbeat, catchy structure that built classics such as The Boys Are Back in Town and Wild One. Just listen to that Scott Gorham-inspired solo. Phantom Friend, though, is a slow melodic blues number that would not be out of place on a classic such as Fighting, a la Spirit Slips Away. Just a great track. Now, Waiting for the Parasites follows, of course, this. This is a great track here. This is a catchy rocker with a hook. Big Holy Diver era vibe with this track here. Very much has that Holy Diver era Dio feel, and it's a great track. Tiger's Dance, another catchy melodic rocker with big hooks. Now, of course, we finally get to the very last song, which is Doomsday I'm in Love. Again, this ends the album and is a slow, dirgy Doomland track. Kind of like a cross between Master of Reality era Black Sabbath, or at times maybe Gates of Slumber for at least another example, but combined with, of course, Animal Magnetism of course, Scorpions. Though towards the end, it has a effect of getting distorted, and this is by each last second, and by the time it's fading out, you're just surrounded by a cloud of noise. So there you go. There is, of course, Heads Have Got to Rock and Roll, and my rating. You know what? I'm actually giving this a solid 10, okay? It's a solid fucking 10 here. This is, I think, is a great freaking album from these guys. And if this is my introduction, then this was a great introduction to these Norwegian three-piece. This is a fucking great album. Definitely, again, it's got every bit of my preferences of what I look for in an album is all here. When it comes to at least that 70s hard rock vibe, it's here. When it's got that classic 80s metal vibe, it's here. Even with the choices of doom metal, or just doom in general, it's here. It's all fucking here, with the hooks, the big riffs, them, even again, with that catchy vibes and so on, it's all here. This is a great fucking rock and roll album. If anybody was to ask me what rock and roll sounded like in the modern era, I'd give them this album for sure. At least this would be definitely one of the albums I would definitely would, of course, would just give to that person who asks that such question. This is definitely true fucking rock and roll. The stuff that gets passed as rock and roll these days, or at least what the mainstream or all these Billboard charts passes as rock, is fake shit. This is true fucking rock and roll. And for those, if you are definitely just dig great classic retro style rock and roll, or again, if you are familiar with this band, definitely let me know what you thought. But again, like I was about to say, if you dig just great classic rock and roll, or just great, just good rock in general, good hard rock in general, I would definitely recommend this album. And again, for fans of Aerosmith, for fans of Thin Lizzy, Black Sabbath, and Dio, and of course classic 80s metal and 70s hard rock in general, this is a great recommendation. So with that, I hope y'all enjoyed. This is your Thrashhead Sam out, and I'll see y'all later. Take care, everyone.